Here we are going to discuss a sort of disputable question. A first European to visit India. I hope those who are learning history, they may immediately answer for this question as Marco Polo. Actually speaking, uh, Marco Polo is not a correct answer, because just find out the period when Marco Polo visited India. Whereas just find out when Alexander invaded India. At time of Alexander, let us imagine that Alexander was the first European to visit India. Let us imagine. I am not yet going to get conclusion, but some people are giving answer as Vasco da Gama. Whereas uh, another thing is there, Megasthenes is also one of the answer given here. But all these things, let us go chronologically. The first European invader, known invader, that was Alexander. After that, there was rule of Chandragupta Maurya, and in the court of Chandragupta Maurya, Megasthenes was there. That is ambassador from Seleucus Nicator. So here the question is that Megasthenes is not the first person. Again, if I am talking of Vasco da Gama, then Vasco da Gama arrived in India much later phase. That is in 1498 he arrived in India. So obviously Vasco da Gama, odd man out, we can say. So the question is that who may be the first European visited, because we have tested all these things, that Tavernier, Bernier, all these travelers were there, but they were also particularly arrived in India after Vasco da Gama. Tavernier arrived when the construction of Taj Mahal was going on, and he reported the construction of Taj Mahal within 1 year. He was reporting out at that time in his book that domed construction that is started. So I don't know how fast workers were there at that time. Then what they carried out for rest of 21 years of the construction of Taj Mahal, I don't know. But these all European travelers are there, but they arrived after Alexander the Great. But when the surprise to know, when Alexander invaded India, he observed a Greek colony, a Greek settlement in India. They were not calling themselves as Greek, but Alexander called. Alexander was also astonished that the people were identical to European people, and the most important thing, the languages were also identical, and therefore it's question of debate always that who is supposed to be the first European visited India, and therefore we had to categorize the period. So in modern period, the first European visitor arrived, that may be Marco Polo. If you observe certain temples, for example, Bruhadeshwar temple, which is situated in Tamil Nadu, Tanjavur, constructed by Chola dynasty, the great dynasty in India. So they constructed this Bruhadeshwar temple. On that Bruhadeshwar temple also, a figure of European traveler is carved out. That indicates that during Chola rule also, these Europeans have visited, and it is something picturized that prior to Vasco da Gama, there was no connection between Europe and India, but it is not so. After Greeks, also trade was going on. Romans were arriving to coastal line. Romans were called as harsh speaking Yavanas, Kathor Bhashi Yavan. Like that, words were there for Roman people at that time. Even they were trading out various spices. Out of that, prominent was black pepper. It was so prominent, the demand from Roman people was so high that at that time they were calling this black pepper as Yavana Priya. So like that things are there, and so I am just putting forward a question. And last, if you are believing in the theory of Aryan invasion, okay, personally I do not believe, but if you are believing in the theory of Aryan invasion, then obviously Aryans were from north of Caucasus. You are aware Caucasus and north of Caucasus is part of Europe, and therefore the answer must be obviously Aryan people. And like that, the first European visited to India. This is debatable question. It is unanswered, as the question is where egg is first or hen is first. So same way this question is also not answered. Thanks for observing this video.